In today's video, we're taking a look at 20 different video gear items, each of which costs $20 or less. I'm gonna put links to everything in the description. Some of this stuff I've been using for over 10 years. Other things I've recently picked up and are kind of weird, but we'll talk about those in a little bit. And all of this stuff is really useful when it comes to making your videos better, faster, or easier to make. We don't have a lot of time, so let's dive in with item number 1. First on our list, we have a small LED light that does RGB and a ton of other features for 20 bucks, which is amazing. And what's even more amazing is the build quality. It is fully metal. It has a built-in battery with USB-C charging, a OLED display on the back, which again, all of this blows my mind for 20 bucks. But there it is at 1%. I'll turn it all the way up. There's 100%, and I'll actually turn off my key light, and I will take this light and bounce it off of my softbox. And as you can see, obviously it's not as bright as my 300D, but holy smokes, this thing is really, really bright. For 20 bucks, it's bi-color, so I can change it to a warmer color temperature. So pretty incredible light for the money. But this thing also does full RGB as well as effects. So here I have a nice Gerald Undone purple. I'll point it at the background. There's a ton of other features like being able to display how much battery life is left at the given setting. So a really powerful light for 20 bucks and definitely worth it if you need a little bit of color or just a small form factor LED light. Our next item is phenomenal if you have a camera monitor. This is a tiny friction monitor mount, and what I love about it is you can mount it to the top of your camera or rig, throw a monitor on, and be able to adjust the angle of your monitor with a single hand. And it's really compact, and for under 20 bucks, this is a must if you use monitors. The next item on our list is a simple camera cube. In short, this is a tiny little cube that has padding inside, and you can put lenses, cameras, and other gear in it. And then you can stick this whole thing inside of a messenger bag, a backpack. It's a great way to pack your gear securely without having to haul a huge, dedicated camera bag. So I use this all the time with my Peak Design backpack, and it allows me to put all kinds of stuff in the upper zippered area or customize the dividers for really any shoot when I don't want to bring a whole bunch of Pelican cases or big video bags. Next up, we have desk clamp light stands. There are a ton of these on Amazon, and they're really, really handy. You can essentially clamp it to the side of your desk and put a light on it, put a camera on it, add a ball head to the top, whatever you need to do. Recently, I've been using a lot of these in my desk setup videos, so you can check those out in the links in the description, but these are phenomenal and really, really handy to have. Next up, we have good old-fashioned friction arms. This one is from Smallrig. It's a great way to add monitors, microphones, and all kinds of other gear to just about anything. You can throw it on your camera rig, or you can add a clamp, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So you can't go wrong with these things. Super handy to have. Our next item is something I swear by and use a ton, and that's these little Nano Clamps. Essentially, it's a really nice hardcore heavy-duty metal clamp, and you can simply tighten it down. It has a really nice tightening knob here, and then it has a 3/8 as well as 1/4 inch tapped holes on it, allowing you to add a simple little adapter to mount a ball head, a camera, a light, really anything. Or one of my favorite combinations is to take our last item, that friction arm, couple it with one of these clamps, and now you're off to the races and able to mount really anything to anything else. Next up, we have a light stand, but not any light stand. This is a super adorable tiny light stand. It packs down to almost nothing, and I love using these things for background lights. If I need to get a light low and out of the shot, this is a great tool to get that job done, and it's really affordable, super handy to have in the old kit. Our next item is a ball head, and in particular, one that I have found to be one of the best options available online. So there are a billion of these things, different models, different manufacturers, but this particular one has been phenomenal. This one is from Sayote, and it's just right. You're able to thread anything to the bottom because it has a 1/4 tap, and then it has a very easy to operate little lock on the side that just feels so much better and more secure than a lot of the junky ball heads available online. So if you need a ball head, these are amazing and they're not going to break the bank. Next up, we have one of the weirdest items on this list. It's another LED light, but this one is a sunset projector something, or at least that's what it's called on Amazon. Here it is. It's a tiny little cube or square shape. It comes with a really terrible little flexible leg tripod and ball head. And this thing is strange. Let me go ahead and turn it on for us here. There we go. As you can see, it does RGB and it has a lens on it. So as I move it around in the background, you can see it kind of has some fringing on the edge and it gives you a perfect circle. Now, this thing is really cheap, but I think it's great for background lights, kind of accent lights, and it's so affordable. And I really do like that shape, that kind of round, perfect sphere, if you will. So it has several different modes. So right now it's kind of in party mode where it's cycling through different colors, but by tapping the power button, you can switch through different modes. So right now I have it in CCT mode. So it not only has RGB, but it does have CCT and the range is crazy. It's 2500 Kelvin to 9000. You have a light that you can set to video mode like this, add it to a lamp somewhere, change the color temperature, or you can tap through over to HSI mode, allowing you to perfectly dial in the color that you want. Now keep in mind, even though I chose, whatever this is, 298 degrees on HSI, you still have kind of that fringing. So if I move it around here, you'll notice it's kind of red around the edge of the lens, but I think it looks really, really cool. And it's a really affordable way to add some very interesting lighting to your shot. Now there's some other cool features with this thing. It actually has a built-in battery that charges over USB-C, which all of this together I think is just amazing given how affordable this thing is. So I'm actually going to remove this terrible little tripod that it comes with, and I'm going to stick it on our ball head that we just talked about and our tiny light stand and put it behind me, lighting up the background. Now I've got it behind me on the ground, and I just think it's a great little fun way to add some interest to your shot without spending much money at all. Our next item or items are these lens cups. I love using these to pack lenses, audio transmitters and receivers, all kinds of little stuff, even camera bodies. But they're just a great way to, again, kind of like our camera cube, throw some gear in one of these things, chuck it in a bag. You know your gear is safe. An awesome little tool to have just to be able to throw gear in a bag and not worry about it. The next item is actually behind me, and it's a microphone stand. If you're on a budget and you need to hold a microphone, you can't beat these things for around 20 bucks. This particular one has a decent height and reach, and they're awesome for small lights like that crazy projector one we talked about earlier, or an actual microphone. You can thread off the microphone holder and you're left with a 3/8 thread, allowing you to add ball heads or just any old microphone. Our next item is actually a wall plate for mounting lights. So there's a ton of these on Amazon, different shapes and form factors, but it allows you to mount a light or really anything to either a ceiling or a wall. So if you need something like that, these are great. Next up, we have a really strange item, and that is a mirror, either acrylic or glass. And these are incredible to get some super unique lighting. I've actually done a full episode on this. You can check it out in the description or in the card above. And it's a great way to spice up the lighting in your videos. Next, we have our final gear packing accessory, and this is a Domke Wrap. I love these things, and they are perfect for wrapping a camera, a monitor, and again, just chucking it in your bag. You may have noticed a theme here. I love little accessories where you can customize any case or bag to fit your needs, or just throw your stuff in a suitcase or in a grocery bag if you wanted to. Our next accessory under $20 is this, the Rapid Baby adapter. These little guys allow you to mount anything to a 5/8 style light stand stud. One of my favorite ways to use these is to add a ball head to them and quickly add and remove small lights from stands. Next up is an accessory that I've been using for video production for over 10 years, and that's this thing, the Power Squid. In short, it is a power strip, but instead of a cord going to a long strip of outlets, you've got these like dongle-y deals on the end. So it's essentially like a ton of tiny little extension cords. And this is awesome because you can always use all of the outlets without power bricks banging into each other and having other issues. It even has a little switch on it, allowing you to turn everything off at once. Really, really handy having a couple of these in your kit, and you're gonna use them, trust me. Our next item's a little odd, and that's to use a cheap lamp as an accent light in the background of your videos. It adds so much, and it's a really simple way to get a very interesting shot. So here I have a $20 lamp. I'm going to take this little aperture light, but you could use any of the other cheap lights we talked about in this video, turn it on, drop it in, and just like that, we have this really simple little lamp for our background. Let me go ahead and throw it behind me. And as you can see, it looks pretty great. So it's a phenomenal way to kind of spice up your set, add a little bit of interest. And for 20 bucks, it's a great trick to have up your sleeve. Our next item or items is going to be a couple of these Posca white paint pens. These things are great if you need to write on black. And let's face it, most video gear and photo gear is black. So if you need to write something down, these are awesome. The next item on our list is camera battery chargers, specifically small USB models. There are a ton of these on Amazon. Most of them are able to charge 2 batteries at once over USB. One of my favorite hacks is to add Velcro to the back of these chargers, add matching Velcro to a USB battery, and now you have a tiny mobile charging battery kit, which is awesome while you're traveling just to have that in your backpack. So a great affordable way to keep those batteries charged up. And our final item or items are HDMI cables, specifically my 2 favorite HDMI options. Both are under 20 bucks. The first are these slim HDMI cables from Monoprice, and they come in several different lengths, and they're really, really thin, super high quality cables, and they're totally loaded with all the right specs. So if you need to do 4K, 60 Hertz, HDR, 3D, whatever, they support that. The second cable option is my favorite cable of all time, and it is a right angle to left angle HDMI cable. It is the perfect length for mounting a monitor on top of your camera, and because the HDMI angle on each end of the cable are opposites, there's no way to not get the right angle coming out of your camera. This allows you to make sure that the cable is always going up out of your camera into your monitor. So this is pretty much my go-to cable for rigs. This cable only has one downside, and that is that it does not support 4K at higher frame rates. So you will have to set your camera to output 1080p, which is totally fine because most monitors we're using are still 1080p panels. But if you're going to be recording 4K 60 on an external recorder, you'll want to go with the Monoprice cable. So that is my list of 20 items under $20. Everything will be linked to in the description. Kind of a different video for me. Let me know if you liked it or hated it. Maybe I'll do more or less of these type of videos going forward. Subscribe if you want to watch more videos about making videos. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you in the next video.